Hello and welcome to Business Insider on Calgary's Business. I'm your host, Mario Tanaguzzi, and joining me today is Bruno Lindia, who is president of DMA Global, a professional search company here in Calgary. Thanks for joining us today, Bruno.
Thanks, Mario. Always a pleasure.
All right, let's talk about the environment that we see ourselves in right now. Have you ever seen anything like this from a recruiting, staffing perspective?
Well, Mario, this is quite unique. I've never seen anything quite so widespread in terms of every industry. I will tell you that a couple of downturns that I've been involved with, I remember the technology crash in the early 2000s really had, IT professionals really scramble, the market tanked. But it was very insulated to a couple of industries that just got absolutely, destroyed. So I think that's the closest one I've ever seen, but not coupled with the health reality of the whole thing, right? So quite unique.
So a lot of businesses, everything from retail to you name it, closing shop right now. Is DMA Global still open for business?
Yeah, you know what? Well, we are definitely open for business. I mean, we are definitely following our national directive of social distancing, which makes our video meeting process essential to plan, for any next employment engagement. But we are certainly open. We've been utilizing, our remote technologies, video calls, and all that kind of stuff for over 10 years now. So, despite what's the reality of the health situation right now, using technology to do our work is nothing new for our firm. So definitely open right now.
So, in the last few years, there's been a trend in the business community to work remotely and have staff work remotely. However, that has been not something that has been embraced fully by companies. How do you think companies are doing right now, coping with this new reality, I guess, where they have to work remotely?
Yeah, I think realistically, there are certain companies in certain industries that do not allow remote working, like manufacturing and retail and some services, like hairdressers and stuff like that. So, but I think for the most part, the companies, our clients right now, are adapting quite, well. A lot of the companies that we deal with are technologically kind of advanced, if you want to call it that. So it's definitely different. But like going back to our company, we're so used to using video and everything like that, but we're not in the hard goods business. So I think it definitely is a bit of a challenge for a lot of the companies out there right now making the adjustment.
Bruno, so your company deals with people and personal contact with people. That's the kind of industry you're in. What are you telling companies that are seeking your services now that that personal contact may not be there, but you have to do this remotely?
Yeah, we're a highly face-to-face type business, especially from the client side, believe it or not. They like to meet with us, have strategic confidential meetings when they're replacing people or adding somebody. So right now, like I said before, at our company, we've been utilizing our remote technologies for many, many, many years. And I think that the clients right now are figuring out, look, we're going to have to, we're going to scramble out of this thing at some point. So the ones that are being extremely proactive are booking us online. We have some, proprietary on-demand now resourcing technologies that we're starting to book some quick demos to show them how to, better utilize some online services that we have. So yeah, it's basically online. And the one big thing, and I don't want to make light of it, but excuse me, the internet is so much busier right now that booking a video call sometimes, we get a little lags in there. But yeah, rest assured, that's kind of how we're gonna have to do it, and that's how they're doing it with us right now.
Okay, so many people out of work right now, thousands and thousands. What are your suggestions for these people as they obviously look for jobs or try to look for jobs?
Yeah, a lot of them are, I wouldn't say they lost their jobs, they're just getting laid off to figure out what's going on right now. So I think number one is to completely be aware that if you're being fired or you're being laid off due to the circumstances and get called back. But definitely during these challenging times, we're here to remind everybody that's looking for work that we still have open opportunities that are out there that are delayed to start, some of them, and some of them are starting because they're online. And we're still, make sure that understand that we're accepting all applications. As you can imagine, we're receiving an increased amount of applications. So, we want to thank everybody for their patience and encourage everyone. This is the key. Only apply for positions that you're qualified for, because for two reasons. Number one, we want to make sure that the right person gets qualified. But more importantly, from the applicant's point of view, it really reduces a lot of stress and anxiety on their side. They said, I applied for 150 jobs and nobody calls me. Make sure that you are truly qualified for that position, not just throwing your resume all over the place, just to reduce the stress. And that's kind of what I would tell people.
Okay, so one last question, Bruno. Like we learned in the last few days that certain industries and companies are hiring a lot. Like, for example, Walmart announced it's hiring 10,000 workers in Canada for its stores and its distribution centers. What happens when this is all said and done, and companies have to re-employ their staff? Is there the danger of that staff have moved on to other positions, and that some companies may be caught flat-footed with not knowing what to do?
Mary, that's a really good question. Couple of things is going to happen. First of all, people need to work. I used to tell people that, we're not in the life or death business. That's the medical profession. But as soon as you're out of medical peril, you got to find a job. So I always say we're in the do or die business. And people need to do, or else, they're not going to do very well paying their bills, mortgages, and all that kind of stuff. So I can guarantee everybody out there that if their company is a little bit slower to hire the people that they had to lay off, most of these people are going to have to find a job. It's nothing personal. Secondly, a lot of people that we would never, or the whole industries would not have access to otherwise, some very, very talented people that have been employed for a long time are now available. And they're considering other positions because they actually have to. And so it's not about loyalty anymore. It's almost about survival in the next couple of weeks to a month. So that's the second thing. From a client point of view, is that to re-onboard them is going to be, I think, kind of challenging for companies that are not used to or don't have the technology that, say, we have to offer some of our clients to onboard in an efficient and quick way possible. And lastly, this is one of the things that a lot of people forget about, or maybe are missing, is that when you re-employ, or you're ready to re-employ, I can tell you everybody's looking at, number one, the health situation, the situation with the pandemic, but the other thing too is the stock market will indicate how many and how quick you can, bring back, how many people you can bring back. And the true reality is that they may not be able to employ the people that they've laid off on a full-time basis as full-time employees. So one of the things that I think clients should investigate, and our great clients are already talking to us, is bringing back people on contract through services like ours. So because when they come back, they don't know what their budget's going to be for earnings for the next 6 to 8 months. So it seems to soften the blow in terms of long-term engagement with their employees or contractors. So if anybody needs any information, just click below and book a time with us. We'll explain that to you. So those are the couple of things, Mario.
Okay, super. Thanks for joining us today, Bruno.
Mario, always a pleasure. Stay safe and stay away or something. So talk to you soon.
Okay, that was Bruno Lindia, president of DMA Global, a professional search company in Calgary. This has been Business Insider with Mario Tonaguzzi on Calgary's Business. Thanks for joining us today.